How I overhauled my monster taming game from looking like this, to looking like this. Hey there. My name is Scriptel and welcome to the 5th devlog in this series, where I'm creating a game inspired by Pokemon. And it's been a while, as I wanted to focus more on development. I didn't make videos for a while, and I wanted to have more features that I can show in videos. But well, before we begin with all the changes I did in this last 2 months, I would like to announce that I now have a Patreon server where you can now support me. This would help me out a lot with the development. And also I made a Discord server where you can see more things that goes into making a game. Well then, let's get on with this video. As I have been busy these past weeks working on this game, and I have made some big decisions that changes the game drastically. Some out of necessity and some out of things not working properly, and some because I didn't like it. So first up, I decided to change the art style of the game. From being made with tiles, it's all hand-drawn in pixel art style. I made this decision because I didn't like how the overworld looked. I tried making it over and over again, but it just didn't feel right. So then I decided to change the art style, which I prefer more now. I have created a large map with this art style with kind of connect seamlessly. With this, I also decided to change the player movement from tile-based to 8 direction, as it looked weird with this art style. Plus I changed the D-pad buttons to a joystick. I also remade the houses and house interiors with it. I decided to make the houses a little bigger for the overworld, and much bigger from the inside, with changed color palette and decorations. Next up, I removed overworld roaming Scallions, overworld taming and overworld battle, because it didn't work properly and was too buggy. But main reason being, it not looking that good. As the Scallions in the overworld had really small resolution, it didn't look that good. So now instead I added scene battle, in which Scallion's texture resolution are much higher, which makes them more expressive and easy to look at. As I added scene battle, I also remade the whole battle system from scratch, as the battle system from the overworld was acting buggy, which was kind of painful to do, as I had to reimagine the whole battle system, then draw it as a flow chart in a notebook, then try coding it in the engine, which took more than a week of time. With that, I also redid the UI. I changed how it looked, slightly overhauling it. I went with every UI having an window pop-up like feel. I also remade the taming UI and now it looks like this. You need to use contract cards when taming. These cards act the same as Pokeballs. Depending on the tier of the card, there's a higher chance of a successful taming. I also added an additional card, called Ethereal Card. This card is made for a challenge run. When you use this card and tame a Scallion, when that Scallion reaches 0 HP, it will leave your party. This card was inspired by Pokemon Nuzlocke. I just automated the process. Ethereal cards would be the cheapest to buy and will have high tame rate. And one more thing I added in the battle scene is battle results. When you lose or win a battle, you will see this menu, which shows you your stats in battle. And if you lost the battle, it will take you to this defeat screen, and spawn you right in front of the last HC. Next up, I added some items. Not all have their functionality yet. For now only berries have. Berries heal your Scallion's HP, but for now they could only be used from the overworld. I haven't added the use functionality in the battle scene yet, because for that I need to do other stuff first. Next up, I added player profile, which you can open by pausing, then going to options and then selecting profile. I wanted to add this menu for so long, but now I have it, and am proud of how it worked out. This menu is still unfinished, as for now it only shows player stats and levels. Yes, they're levels now, but only for players. When you win a battle, you get experience points. Every time you level up, you earn 2 points, which you can use to increase any of the stats in here. This stats adds up with your Scallions when in battle, and opponent tamers also have this. To keep the battle difficult and challenging, you need to click the button use points, and increase or decrease buttons will show up besides the stats, which you can increase and decrease only if you increased it before. You can also reset all your stats points by pressing this button, but it requires some credits to not make it overpowered. I am also planning on adding an item that will give you skill points when consumed. Well, overall, working on this menu was actually fun, as this worked first time most of the way of development. But as I said, this menu is still not finished, as I plan on adding other stuffs to show here, like how many Scallions you've tamed, or how many hours you've been playing this game, or how many medals you've earned. Basically a player statistics. I added NPC dialogue system. Now you can interact with NPC and they will have something to say, even though they will say the same thing every time. Next up, I fixed NPC battle. Before it had some bugs and NPC could only use one Scallion. But now I changed it, so it could use 6 Scallions to battle. NPC tamers have their own instance data for storing Scallions, so that every NPC can use different spells for their Scallions. This is also new. And now finally, the last thing I added are some cutscenes. I added cutscene for choosing starter Scallion in battle with your rival. You start the game directly here. No need to walk here or anything, like Pokemon Red. Adding the starter cutscene was simple enough, as I also made the character art for them. But adding the cutscene for rival battle was a nightmare, as it took me whole day to fix a bug that I couldn't even understand why it was happening. As you left the lab, first rival approaches and then you battle. This worked properly, but after that the second rival approaches and have a battle, and this was the part which kept breaking. Because for some reasons, the second rival's Scallion data was not getting set in the battle scene. I had to spend hours fixing that issue. I changed the art style for the character art. It's now a little bit simpler, which makes it more efficient to draw, as I made over 14 character arts now, and there are more planned. I might share all the character art in the Discord, so join if you like. Here is the art for the nurse of the first town. This is your rival Ray. And this is your rival Cyril. Yes, there will be 2 rivals in the game, like in Pokemon Black and White. And the reason being, I didn't wanted any starter Scallions to get left behind. And well, that's all. This was all the things I was working on this past months. And I wanted to release this video before the New Year's, so there are many more stuff I added which isn't shown in this video. And I'll say it again, I have a Patreon, which you can join to support me with the development.